watching Medfield TV, community shows.
Welcome to Live Your Passion. I'm your host, Alex Stephen from Life Transforming Treasures. On Live Your Passion, our guests share their stories and challenges and how they embrace and overcame them. Hopefully, you can use some of their wisdoms to help you on your journey. I'm an author, a speaker, and a life transformation coach. Please go to my website, alexstephen.com, for free resources. This morning, my guest is special guest here, Clara Angelina Diaz. Welcome on the show.
Thank you so
much. And I'll
much.
have you introduce yourself. Tell us what you do.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for having me, Alex. What I do is I have a life coaching practice where I work with both organizations and women and individual women in a way to help them build programs, custom-made programs that allow them to really tap into their inner confidence, their inner value, and then that transforms into them completely transforming their life, from increasing their income to their relationships. So it's really about helping them tap into that inner confidence and helping them become the leader of their own life.
Okay, well, pretty good. And what's the name of your company?
Well, I go by
name.
my own name. It's Clara Angelina Diaz. It's me. It's all that I bring.
All you. You're the brand.
I am the brand.
Yeah.
I am the brand and the brains.
The brand and the brains.
Yes.
Yeah. And yeah, well, thanks for coming. Really a pleasure to have you here. And I know I met you and your husband a few weeks ago at another event. And you know, glad to hear the baby is doing good.
Yep,
too.
she's amazing.
Yeah, amazing. So tell us a little bit about, you know, you said you were born in the Dominican Republic and how life was there for you, how things, you know, your experiences there in the Dominican Republic growing up.
Yeah, well, I am, you know, from the beautiful land of the Dominican Republic, the land of merengue and plantains and really famous baseball players.
Yeah.
And life for me there was a beautiful contrast, if I must say. It was a beautiful contrast because I was free to roam and climb trees and grab fruit from the trees and be outdoors, which I love, and it was amazing. And I had an amazing family. Both my family from my mother's side and from my father's side were both entrepreneurs.
Right.
But they were very different types of people. One of them was, they were really about community and sharing and really embracing people. And the other one was very hesitant and didn't really trust too many people. And so growing up in that, that they're both entrepreneurs and they're both so different, really helped me question a lot of like, what does it mean to like be a good person, but also have money or have a lot of money and be trusting. And so I'm grateful for that difference that I had, which at first I saw as a challenge, but as I grew older, I started to appreciate the contrast of where I was born.
And you had to create your own balance with those two experiences.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And
absolutely.
you know, I come from Trinidad too, with the fruits and the outdoors. And my grandfather, my dad's dad, was an entrepreneur and very successful in some ways. One of the things I still can't understand, he never took a vacation. He worked 7 days of the week and he lived to 106. But he, you know, he had that lifestyle, and I mean, that was his choice.
Yeah, yeah.
So I understand what he's saying. Sort of question, you know, the pros and the cons, so
Right,
to speak.
right. The life of the entrepreneur.
The life of the entrepreneur.
Yeah, and it can be so different, you know. And
Yeah.
like one of my grandfathers, he took Sundays off, and then like Sundays was his day for like his good shirt and sitting in the front of the house and having his friends come over, and there was cooking and all of that.
Yeah.
The other one, he didn't really take too many days. I don't think he made that time for friends to find that balance, and he ended up. I don't know if it's a coincidence or not, but he ended up passing away before the other.
Yeah.
And he passed away poor.
Oh.
While the other one, who had the less successful business, one sold eggs at a market, and the other one had a huge shoe factory. So it was very interesting to see the difference. Yeah.
So you grew up in that world where you saw, you know, the emphasis was on materialism, so to speak. And how did that make you feel as a child growing up?
Wow. Like I said, it was a lot of contrast. You know, a lot of looking at like, oh, you know, if you have money, then it's like you're a valuable person.
Yeah,
if
you're successful.
if you know you have nice clothes, then you're successful. And then there was another part of my upbringing that was really about sharing what you had. But there wasn't. I mean, I don't believe in a perfect balance. But what that made me, it really made me question. You know, as I was growing up, like, what does it really mean to have a good life? Is it really about just having money? Is it really about just having nice things? How about the inner world? How about your inner self? You know, how about the richness within? And that was something that I came to find out much later in my life.
But you started to question that when you were in the Dominican Republic?
I did.
Okay.
I did.
So at an early age, you were looking at spirituality and inner worth, so to speak. You know, not just outside.
I didn't know it was called spirituality.
Yeah, you didn't know the word.
No,
yeah,
not at all.
You didn't know the word, but that's what you were searching for.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's pretty good. But then you migrated to United States.
Yes.
And then it was a different culture, and you know, the emphasis was, you know, tell us a little bit about how that worked.
Yeah, you know, I was brought to the United States against my will. Let me
Against
tell you,
your will?
against my will. I didn't want to come.
Okay.
Quite honestly, I felt very happy in the Dominican Republic.
Yeah.
I loved my free time. I loved roaming free and then coming back home at lunchtime, and I was giving a lot of freedom there. And I just knew in my mind that that wasn't going to be the way here. However, when you're in the Dominican Republic, everybody dreams about coming to America. You know, that in my young mind at that time, I was only 8 years old, you know, I thought of like the streets were going to be glittering and it was going to be so beautiful. And I couldn't wait to see the snow. So I was, you know, having these pictures in my mind of what it could be. However, I didn't want to leave my family and my freedom. But coming to the United States was both traumatic, challenging, and an amazing opportunity for me. You know, being the oldest of 4 at the time, I remember being in the airplane and trying to tell myself things to make myself feel better. Like I said to myself, I remember looking out the plane window and saying, you know, I'm going to come to this country and I'm going to learn everything I can learn, and then I'm going to go back and help my people.
Nice.
At 8 years old.
Yeah,
like,
8 years old.
Yeah, and I was, you know, doing all these mental stories in my mind to make myself feel better about coming to the United States. And when we came, it was really tough for us. It was my 2 parents and myself and my 3 siblings. So we're now a family of 6 in Washington Heights in New York, living in a relative's house of my father, who we never met. We were in two bedrooms, and it was tough. It was not glittery and beautiful. And we came in the middle of October, which was really cold. It was not nice. And imagine gray buildings in the middle of New York City. I just remember that, like, the first night that we came, in the nighttime, all the lights, you know, the lights of New York City, and I thought that was the most beautiful thing. And I always, even in the midst of chaos and challenges, I as I'm talking to you now, I can see that I always try to look for the beauty in things.
Yeah.
And I still do that to this day.
Yeah, and that's a great trait to have. You must look for the good things.
Thank
you know,
you.
no matter how things look, and always, you know, be in gratitude, and that's how you get to where you want to be. You know, I believe.
Yeah.
So you came in October. We came in January.
Oh,
and
even colder.
Never saw snow.
Oh, Lord.
People at Howard University, my wife and I were in school full time with 2 kids. They said, "Oh, there'll be a blizzard. School will be closed for 4 days." I was like, "What are they talking about?" And it did happen. So it was a culture shock for us too.
Yeah.
We didn't expect the reception you expected, but we know it was going to be tough. Well, we were older, that we were married with 2 kids, so our expectations were a little different. So it was challenging. But one thing you said, which is true, and I'm always grateful, the United States is the land of opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're willing to put in the work and look for the opportunities, things will happen for you.
Absolutely.
I don't think there's nowhere else. So
Yeah.
that's one of the things we're grateful for. At the beginning, it's always a challenge.
Absolutely.
So, pretty good. So you came to the States, you went to school, and
Yeah, I went to school, learned English. Like in a matter of 2 years, I was fluent. I don't know how it happened. It was like a click in my mind. You know, by this time I'm 9 years old, and just feeling this immense pressure. Like I think my brain went into survival skills. And that made me learn English a lot faster because my parents were like, "You need to learn English because you got to help us. You got to help us translate." I remember one time my mother going to the store and she wanted to ask for milk, and she kept saying no one wanted to sell her milk because she kept saying milk, milk, and no one could understand what she was saying. So you know, pressure, right? It says pressure makes diamonds, right? But pressure can also be pretty traumatic. So the pressure for me to learn English and to thrive and to absorb and just be the best that I could be was definitely something that, yes, I think it brought a lot of amazing things in me, but it also it also held me back a little bit because just like in the Dominican Republic where the focus was external gain and survival and which is important, and finding a home and all those things you need to survive, sometimes doesn't allow you to really think about, you know, what's the top of the pyramid, the self-actualization and really looking at creativity and the things within. So I saw that I was having the same my parents, right, doing the best they can and what they know, putting all this pressure on me to excel in
go to school.
In what they thought was the right thing for me to do.
So the emphasis was on education, on getting a job and moving up the corporate ladder. So tell us a little bit about that experience. How did you fare with that?
Oh my God! So, my father, in his wise words, said to me, "You better go to school to study something that's going to make you money." So I'm like, "Perfect! I'm going to study finance and economics." So my first year of college, that was my major. It was finance and economics, and I got a job in a bank right away. I was like 18 years old, working in a bank. And very quickly, I climbed up the corporate ladder. I started working in the mortgage industry, and you know, I went from processor, underwriter, closer, all the way to sales. And at the age of 22, found myself making so much money that I didn't know what to do with the money.
It's a good problem.
It's a good problem to have, but when you're not in tuned with your purpose and you're not really in tuned with the other areas of your life, a blessing can turn into a curse. And so what that did, it was a great awakening for me because it made me question, there has to be more to life than to just go to work, make good money, and do it all over again. There has to be more. And when I started to question that, I started feeling an amazing, like, huge void inside my heart and inside myself. I was like, that something needs to fill this void. At that time, I was not connected to, like, I didn't go to church. My family was not spiritual. Like, we completely left all of that behind to try to make it into this in this country.
The material part of it.
Yeah, yeah. And so then something happened for me that was pretty dramatic, where I had a huge car accident, a near-death experience, where I thought that I was gonna be in front of the pearly gates.
Yeah.
And that shifted my entire perspective on life. All of a sudden, I started painting. I started to to find all these different spiritual books and people having these conversations with me of things that I would have never even thought about before I was in this grind of going to work and working, you know, more than 8 hours a day, and making great money and spending it on the weekends and doing it. And I was like on this loop, you know, that I know a lot of us find ourselves in. And so that was I mean, I know that awakening comes in different forms for different people, but for me, it was this near-death experience and this car accident, and a few car accidents after that. Like,
oh, you had more.
On the same day of the month, back to back to back.
Really?
And that just completely shifted my mind to really start to look within and figuring out, okay, what is it that I'm in this earth to do? Why was I given another chance? What is my purpose? Because it's not just about this work that I do and this
Daily
paper
grind.
pushing. And I mean, I've always been about helping people in whatever I'm doing, but I knew that there had to be a bigger, more direct way to do it, and also a way that filled my heart with joy.
So the accident caused a shift. There was a shift, and so you started to read more books, personal development books, get into spirituality, and you said art. Was that something you did before, or you?
You know, when I was in like middle school, I used to paint
A little bit.
I used to paint a little bit, and it was just something that I did to pass the time. And then I forgot about it, honestly. And then somehow I came back to it, and took it a little bit more serious and started to actually value the fact that I could paint, even though I had no training in it. So it was just a time I started to appreciate my natural talents more.
So when you were in the corporate world, so to speak, you gave up on school because you said that, you know, it wasn't serving any purpose at that time.
Right.
Yeah, because you didn't want to invest in something that you were not going to use. And university, college in the United States is pretty expensive.
Yeah, especially if your belief is that I go to school to make money. I go to school to have a career. I already have a career, so what's the point? In my mind, I'm like, what's the point of doing this if I can already have what I want?
So when you had this shift in perspective, then you decided to go back to school.
I did.
But then it was your choice what you wanted to do. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, you know, when the shift in my perspective and my awareness happened, I started to look at what am I naturally good at that I can do to help people. And so one of the things that awakened in me was, you know, the painting. Then I started to interpret, to become an interpreter. And
Spanish to English.
Yeah. And I was making a lot of money doing that too. And with the paintings too, to me, it was mind-boggling that I could do something that I had so much fun doing that I could actually get paid to do. And then I found a coach. And I didn't know that there was a name for this thing that you can help people to achieve what they want. And when I met this guy, it was like every word he said was like filled with light to me. It was like, I like that. It resonated very deeply with me. And so I started achieving things working with this gentleman, my first coach. His name is Oscar Truitt. I thought that I wouldn't do until I was maybe like in my 60s or something. It was really amazing. So I had all these different things going on. And then I started to like really look deeply into myself and think about what am I naturally good at? Like, I'm a natural born leader. I like to help people be better. I like to look at the maximum potential in somebody. And if anyone in my family ever has a problem or is feeling like they're not motivated to do something, they naturally will gravitate towards me. So I started to see that, oh, these are all like management things. So I went back to school. I went to Leslie. And at Leslie, they allow you to design your own major. And I thought, oh, this is perfect for me because I can learn everything that I want to learn in order to build my own business, to increase my skills. So I went back to school because I wanted to, not just because of, oh, I'm going to do this to make more money, but I want to do this for my own personal development.
And your purpose and follow your passion, so to speak. So that's pretty good. So you went back to school and you're doing interpreting. So you're in a different place now in terms of your mindset. You know, explain to us or share with us a little bit where you are now. You're doing coaching and speaking and different things. How you feel now?
Well, I gotta tell you, Alex, the maintenance of it all, you know, to stay aware, to continually be putting your energy in the positive things, to always is my work now. To live from a place of empowerment and not fear, from a place of love. And abundance and not lack, and those things always want to creep in, you know. But I shift myself back and say, okay, am I being conscious of what I'm doing, what I'm feeling? Is this thought serving me? And so, being that mastering my own self-awareness is at the center of my life, and then helping other people to do that for themselves. Is at the center of the work that I do, and really helping them to live from a place of core value, right? To understand that the value that they bring into this world is not something to be earned, and it's not something that can be taken away. You know, that you within your own uniqueness, you are valuable. You have something unique and special to bring to the world, and sometimes we need to unlearn what someone told you. You've been programmed to be, and sometimes can be very positive and amazing. But I think is, you know, a life, a good life is an examined life, and when you take the time to really look at, okay, what is my own natural talents and skills and gifts that I bring, I think that can turn a life around to happiness.
So, I mean, what I hear you saying is that you had this shift in perspective, you know, after the major car accident, and you know, you started to get into personal development, so to speak, reading books, attending seminars, having a coach, that sort of thing. You know, I emphasize that to people, that you need mentors. Growing up, I didn't know the word mentor, but I used to go to people and ask for advice that I thought they knew, you know, in this field or whatever. And people are always willing to help if we ask. And, you know, I tell people, asking for help is a sign of strength, not weakness.
I agree.
And always go out there and ask for help, you know. People will guide you, because when you in the frame, you cannot see the picture. You need somebody outside. Advise people to get a coach, get a mentor. Some people could afford to, some you cannot, but you could still ask people to help you. And that's so key. It's looking for the good and giving back. It's, you know, that's what life is about.
Absolutely.
So as you look back now, a little girl in Dominican Republic with your two grandparents being entrepreneurs, and what you're doing now, what's your take on things now? You think you find a balance that where you happy, or you? I know we never perfect. We always have room for improvement. But what's your take now?
You know, my take now is that no matter, I believe that no matter what happens to you, you have the choice to respond to how something happens to you. You have the ability to say, okay, this is happening for my good, and look for the good.
Look for the good.
Look for the good in that, and that's what I always try to do. That is my aim, to always think, okay, what is the honey
Yeah.
in the situation.
Always. Yeah.
And that has saved me.
Yeah.
And then to help others to develop that perspective, because it's one thing for me to tell you, like, look at the roses, or for me to help you to understand why it's important that you look at the roses, because you're going to do that forever. And so I think for me the key is to help people to develop a perspective, to look inside themselves first and embrace the positive, amazing things about them, and bring that out into the world.
Out. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's it's more gratifying, that approach.
Yeah.
And getting rid of the ego. I think some of these, I've seen people, and on the outside they look successful, and when you get to know them more, it's hollow inside. They don't have that gratification. Like what you're talking about, living your purpose. They're doing it for whatever reason. And I'm not judging them. Everybody's different.
Right.
But the choice is yours. What sort of life, what sort of experience you want to have.
Right.
In this short lifetime, basically. And in the journey, I've come, I didn't know this at the inception, but as I get older with experience, what we perceive as good and bad, they're all necessary for this journey. So looking for the good will always be of more help than just saying, oh, I only want the good, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so pretty good. Anything else you want to share with us? Anything we didn't cover?
Well, I my mission right now, and it has gotten so much stronger since I become a mom, is really to empower women, because through generations, women do so much.
Yeah. They're
so
the backbone.
Much. Yeah, they're the backbone and the bringers of life, and do so much, and that is not recognized. And I think when strength is not recognized, sometimes it can turn bad, and it can weaken the soul. And so it is my mission to really empower women to really appreciate all that they bring, and to be in tune with themselves, moment to moment. Not just like, it's not about going to a retreat or waiting to find a coach or waiting.
On a daily basis.
No, it's daily basis, on a moment to moment basis. Because I think that the world can truly be saved by people that are in tune with their feelings. When you try to dismiss the way you feel, I mean, that can lead to a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
And women having so much of an effect on people and on their kids, and oh my God, it's a ripple effect.
Yeah.
And so it's really my mission to first myself, develop to my highest possible potential, and then help other women and help organizations that are working to serve the women, because it's needed.
Yeah, it is. I agree with you. When I look back at my own experience, my mom and my elder sister, and the role they played in my life, and my mother-in-law too, my wife. I have a daughter, a granddaughter, so it's very important.
Yeah.
Very important. Any tools or nuggets you want to leave with the audience?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, first and foremost, I would say that, do whatever you need to do to tap into your core value, into the amazing gift and spirit that you are, regardless of where you come from, where you are, or what has happened to you. There is a place within you that is valuable and amazing, and just tap into that and do whatever you can to live your life from that place. And also, I also believe that in moving to attain things in life, what we're doing is trying to attain a feeling. And so I encourage you watching to do whatever you need to do to feel as peaceful and as best as you can while you're moving in that direction, while you're moving in the direction of what you want, because there is nothing worse than arriving to your goal and feeling extremely exhausted. And then lastly, I will invite you to really look for support, either with a mentor, a coach, or a friend, or a support group, that will help you in really living your truth and living what you want, what your vision for your life is. And as you're moving in that direction, allowing that vision to shape itself and just be open, and own your life. I mean, you are the owner of your life. You are responsible.
Yeah. Pretty good stuff. I mean, and the direction that you took, the choice you took to help women and see that need, that's pretty good. That's needed.
Thank you.
And it helps society as a whole, as you said. There's a ripple effect, good or bad, so might as well plant good seeds.
Absolutely. It all starts with the individual, right?
Yeah, it all starts with the individual. So thanks so much for sharing your story and how you grew up, the things you went through, the choices you made, the shift you had in life, and the points you made is getting a mentor, ask for help, and your purpose is inside here, and don't just go out and say, okay, I'm doing this for money. We all need money.
We do.
And you can make money, following your passion, turn your passion into profits, basically, and, find ways to do that. So thanks so much for gracing us with your presence, and really enjoy you on the show.
Thank you.
And sharing, so thanks very much.
Thank you.
And what I like to do on my show is read the quote for the day, today's date. The quote today from my book, Inspirational Life Quotes, a compilation I put together for daily motivation. It's the man who does more than he's paid for will soon be paid for more than he does. Napoleon Hill. So, it's relevant to what you said. Just go out there and do what you love. And our book, Courage in Our Hearts, A Family's Love Story, I always like to give one to my guests. So this is my autograph copy to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
And I have a couple other books on, they're all on Amazon, Discover Your Inner Treasure and IP Goals Made Easy, all on Amazon. And again, my name is Alex Stephen, your host of Live Your Passion. Thanks a lot for joining us, and see you next time. My website is alexstephen.com, and where could people reach you?
They can reach me with my full name, Clara AngelinaDiaz.com.
Yeah, so thanks again, and see you next time. Okay. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Alex.
Yeah.
You're watching Medfield TV, community shows.